Broadcasting from coast to coast. It's the Financial Safari with your host, Coach Pete D'Arruda. You'll hear from some of the nation's top financial professionals. So stick around and find out how to make it through the jungle of the financial world, right here on the Financial Safari.
Welcome to Financial Safari TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Coach Pete, otherwise known as the People's Choice. Coach Pete, how are you today?
Doing great. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. I always look forward to our time together because we always laugh, during the shows. There's so much to talk about, obviously. How's your new year going?
Oh, it's great. How about you?
Same.
Yeah.
Same. It's been great.
Every year is different, but every year is the same a lot of times here in the financial world. We were talking about before we came on here live. We were talking about how it's hard to come up with stuff to talk about sometimes, but it's also easy because nothing really changes, but then everything changes.
Of course.
So I told you before the show, just start throwing some financial stuff at me that you wanted to know.
Yeah.
Maybe people out there want to know that too.
Okay, that sounds great. Let's talk about the Bitcoin because I'm not really sure what that is.
It's funny. Well, the Bitcoin was just an idea years ago, and now people are watching it and people are going crazy over it, and people want to know. People are calling our office saying, "What's up with Bitcoin?" So watching it on CNBC. It's been talked about. It's in mainstream media now. It's all sorts of articles. What I say with everything, well, let's go back in history years ago, centuries ago in Holland. They had a tulip crisis where everybody was paying gigantic amounts. You know what a tulip is. It's like you plant them, like you have them in the garden all the time. Mom would have them all the time.
I love
and they multiply and all that. But in Holland, people went crazy over tulips and drove the price up thousands of % on tulips. So you ever played musical chairs growing up?
Absolutely.
Well, somebody who overpaid immensely, hugely, for those tulips, when they finally realized how stupid they were, that person who overpaid was left holding the bag, basically without a chair. And so we don't want to chase investments or places to make money. There's two emotions that kill more people in the financial world: fear of missing out. My daughter calls it FOMO. My daughter said, "Dad, you're FOMO." I said, "What did you say?" So you almost got a bar of soap. No, it's like fear of missing out, and then greed. And greed is what gets more people in more trouble. Greed is when you overpay, when you hear about the neighbor making a lot of money, so you try to run into Bitcoin and you buy it at the high, and all of a sudden it tumbles after that. And so earlier this year in January, early January, I was watching Bitcoin. And it was, in one weekend, it went from like 20,000 up to 33,000, almost 34,000 for one coin. Now, there's no such thing as a coin, though. It's electronic coin, so you don't even get a hold of coin for it. So it's like on your computer. And then overnight, it went from like 34,000 down to 31,000. So if you paid 34,000 for one coin, and then you went to bed and woke up, it's only worth 31,000. That's a big difference. And so we just need to be careful. Nothing wrong with speculating, but only with money we can afford to lose.
Absolutely.
And to me, and I bought some Ethereum in April of 2020 at $200 a coin. Ethereum is a competitor of Bitcoin or another one of those in the blockchain. Now, we'll talk about blockchain in a minute too. I think blockchain is a good thing. But Ethereum went from 200 to 1,000 in that same time Bitcoin was going up. So that's a pretty big percentage too.
Absolutely.
Now, I only bought like 3 of them. So because I didn't know what I was doing. I want to say, let me get some of this Ethereum everyone's talking about. I wasn't going to overpay for Bitcoin. I should have, because Bitcoin was like 4,000 at the time. So it would have gone from 4,000 to 34,000. I would have been very happy.
Of course.
And I would have bragged to everybody about how smart I was, but I didn't know what I was doing. So I took money that like $500 or so, that were $600. I really could afford to lose that, and I bought a couple or 3 of those Ethereum. So don't go wild, folks, with this Bitcoin mania. Gosh, I remember hearing about it. I had a little tech guy who worked in a studio in 2009 with me, and he started telling me about this Bitcoin that was worth $300 a coin, and he had a buddy who got in at like a penny. Well, I wish he would have told me. I said, "Where were you when it was a penny?" I would have probably bought $1,000 worth of that. But it's almost, it's too late in my opinion. But it could go. There's articles coming out saying it could go to 300,000 a coin or whatever. Who knows? I don't know. You don't know. Most people writing articles don't know. So be very careful, folks. And if you want to speculate a little bit, do that. But do not take money out of your retirement plan and put it in there. In my opinion.
Absolutely.
This isn't investment advice, but Cynthia, it's whatever you feel good with. But what I say is, let's not put ourselves in a bad place by overpaying for something that we have no idea of. And most people I talk to don't understand it.
Sure. And a lot of people, I think, would get caught up in the hype and the excitement, and they want to do it because their friends are doing it, but they don't really know what it's all about.
Well, I don't even own any Bitcoin, but I watch it on my phone every single day. So there's a little app where every single minute you can watch it. And here's another thing about this exchange, where the Bitcoin is traded on. It's 24/7, 365. it never closes.
Wow.
At least with the stock market, if your stock's getting beat up at 4 o'clock, the market closes, the next day maybe people forgot it was getting beat up and it might recover. But the Bitcoin is constant. It's sort of like trading currency, which is another one of those 24/7, 365 exchanges. So be very careful. Don't get wild, but if you want to buy a couple, but don't take money you can't afford to lose and buy it.
Sure,
That's all I say.
sure, absolutely. Coach Pete, as we cascade into the new year, obviously, what kind of questions should people be thinking about when planning their own retirement, if you will?
One of the things we always talk about here on the show is we need to figure out what our number is. How much money can we generate income-wise in a monthly fashion that will be guaranteed for the rest of our life?
Okay.
And we need to have that money. We need to know with certainty what that money's going to be. So people say, well, Coach, how do you do that? You know, the stock market goes up and down, and I don't know what kind of income I can get on my stocks. If I have dividend-paying stocks, I know if they pay a dividend on every quarter, I'll get that kind of income. But companies can take the dividend away. They can reduce it, they can take it away. Stock values can go up and down. So what I recommend for money that we absolutely must have all the way through retirement is a growth protection income account. Okay? And so the GPI index, we call it. So we can look at different numbers, different lump sums that you have scattered all over the place in your portfolio, or maybe 401k over there, 401k there, an IRA. And we can tell you, based on the number you have right now, here's what kind of income you can generate in whatever year from now, like 5 years from now, tomorrow, 10 years, and that number will be guaranteed for the rest of your life. And we try to get that number increasing. So we need more than one stream of income in retirement because things get more expensive.
Sure.
We see that. Every time I go to the store, I notice
inflation.
that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, inflation. So people say, well, Coach, the government says there's not much inflation. Well, the government doesn't use food and energy in their inflation numbers. They use big items like durable goods, they're called, like washing machines, refrigerators, cars. Now, cars are getting a little more expensive, but washing machines and refrigerators, they don't really go up that much. So that's where we're looking at inflation there. But food gets more expensive.
Oh,
I've seen it. I shop for junk food. My wife does the real shopping.
I was
do the
going to
junk
say
food.
for healthier food specifically.
Healthy gets even more expensive. There was a store, we used to call it Whole Paycheck, because that's what it would cost when you went in there. But you can't guess what store that was. And then Amazon bought them, and they're a little more affordable now, but it's still a lot of money.
Yeah, you save a little bit when you use your little Amazon. I know.
You can use your phone number too instead. So,
definitely. So we talk a little bit about obviously inflation. What about also planning for taxes in the future, Coach Pete?
Well, we need to plan for it. Now, one thing's for sure is they're going to go up. Our debt keeps going up. All these stimulus checks that we're writing and giving money overseas to people to stimulate their economies, it's unstimulating us because we're going to have less money to spend in the future because taxes have to go up to pay this debt we have.
Sure.
And so we need to plan for taxes. Here's one way that a lot of people aren't planning for taxes, Cynthia, is they're looking at their balances in their IRAs and their 401ks, and they're assuming all that money in there is theirs. Let's say you have $1 million balance in a 401k, which is awesome, by the way.
Right.
Is it really $1 million?
I would say probably not. And you're going to tell us why.
Yes. Well, depending on what state you're in. Here in North Carolina, we have a 6 to 7% state income tax, and we have federal tax, 28, 33, 39, whatever bracket you're in. So you're going to lose about 40% of that money to taxes. Incredible. So your $1 million 401k is really only worth $600,000 to you.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, you're talking about taxes. What can we do about it? I'm not going to pay. You go to jail. Look at the Roth IRA is a good option. Perfect. We have the power of zero. We talk about it. There's some life insurance savings ways. You can save money in a life insurance policy, and then you can borrow your own money in retirement tax-free. So now you have a tax-free stream of income. You never have to pay the loan back. When you pass away, the death benefit will pay off your loan. So that's a good way too. So there's a couple different strategies to have tax-free. But if you're looking at that 401k and you've got a gigantic balance, the only real option there is to maybe convert some of that money to a Roth IRA, pay the taxes now, and then don't pay any more taxes in the future. But the most important thing is to get a real plan put together.
Sure.
And have it done with a fiduciary planning team who understands taxes, inflation, ways to save and not lose money, and ways to get lifetime income. We do all that. It's 22 steps in a total retirement plan. Cynthia, the next 10 people who call, we're going to give that away for them as at no cost or obligation. I've also got the book, the video on retirement, and my book, The 7 Baby Steps. And I got an extra bonus today, America Asks Coach, my most recent book, 2017, this came out.
Excellent.
27 chapters all dealing with what we're talking about now, how to plan for retirement, how to have a successful retirement, how to pay less taxes in retirement.
Excellent.
Right.
So Coach Pete, we're going to go ahead and open up the phone lines right now. All right. To the viewers at home, the phone lines are now open. All you have to do is call the number on your screen. Coach Pete has some amazing tips for you to help you plan for a very safe and secure retirement, if you will. Again, the number's on your screen. We have to take a very short commercial break. We're going to have so much more when we come back, so please stay tuned.
Education is paramount when it comes down to financial planning, especially if you're in the financial red zone. Folks, I'm consumer advocate Thomas Lipscomb here with Coach Pete D'Arruda, best-selling author and the founder of this TV show that you're watching right now, The Financial Safari, as well as a nationally syndicated broadcast radio show that's heard by millions every year. Coach, this is a great box set that we've put together. I appreciate you doing it.
Well, Thomas, the reason why we put together our shows is to educate folks just like you out there, and I've taken some time now, and you've helped me with these. Put together these tremendous box sets with workbooks, guidebooks, DVDs, and worksheets in there, all designed to help you get onto the path that you really need to be on in an educational setting, Thomas, in your own house. So all you have to do is call the number you're going to see on the screen, and you can get your very own workbook, guidebook, and set, DVD set, as well as your no-cost consultation.
And welcome back to Financial Safari TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Coach Pete D'Arruda, otherwise known as the People's Choice. Coach Pete, a great first segment that we had, but let me ask you a question. In your opinion, why is it that so many people are sometimes nervous or apprehensive to talk to a financial advisor?
It's a good question. I think people are just afraid that the answers they get may not be what they want to hear, or maybe they don't want to have somebody talk over their head with big terms. I hate big terms, by the way.
Okay.
Such big terms, and when you finally go and look up the term, it meant nothing different than like a real easy word would have meant.
Right,
so
right.
Big terms make people feel smart sometimes, but a thesaurus on call all the time. You can write a letter and then you can go back and change a bunch of the words to make them sound even better. I think people are just scared. They're apprehensive. They don't want to hear sometimes what they need to hear.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of tough love. I mean, gosh, I have to tell you, if you're not set up correctly, when you want to know about it now.
Of course.
And when you want someone to help you get back on track. Coach Pete, that's my nickname, right? So
absolutely.
I hated my coaches growing up because they made us run laps when the practice was over, and they pushed us. We were mad when they were doing it. But when we got in the game situation, we were happy that our coach did that.
Yeah.
Same thing here in the financial world. You may not want to hear the answers, but wouldn't it be great to hear the answers and get a plan to get you back on track? If someone's just criticizing you, saying, you're doing a horrible job, see ya.
Yeah.
What good is that?
Yeah,
but if I'm saying,
true.
hey, if we change a couple things, make a couple tweaks, we can get you back on the track you thought you were going to be on. Financial planning, retirement planning is all about looking at the road you're on now and making sure it's going to get you to the destination you thought you were going to.
Absolutely.
A satellite does that. When you see the view from way above, and you see you want to be over here, and you're going that way, how good is that? That's not good.
Absolutely.
So we can U-turn you and get you back on track. And we spend a lot of time with a lot of folks doing exactly that.
Absolutely.
And at the end, people really appreciate having the facts told to them.
Absolutely.
In a non-threatening way, not using big words, and do it all in writing. It's
Absolutely.
important. And so that, to me, is why people are afraid to talk to advisors. I'm afraid to go to the doctor. I don't want to have I go every year, but I don't want to go.
I know, because you just never know. Yeah.
They tell you different things, and you do it. And, dentists the same way. But I mean, going there, preventive maintenance, we call it.
Absolutely.
So we have preventive maintenance in the financial world, and we meet with our clients every single year just to make sure that life hadn't changed.
Sure.
Or when they do have a life-changing event, like a divorce or death, we meet with them right away. Because then it's time to reevaluate your beneficiary designations, who's going to get the money now. And if you are now a widow or a widower, you need to make sure your plan is adjusted that way.
Absolutely.
And so we do that every single day.
Absolutely.
Education is paramount in making sure you understand. So that's it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a word earlier in the first segment. You talked about fiduciaries. Let's talk a little bit more in depth about that in case someone in the viewing audience doesn't know. Why is it a benefit for them to work with a fiduciary such as yourself, Coach Pete?
We're hearing this term a lot more these days, fiduciary. And a fiduciary basically has to do everything for you nothing for them. In other words, everything that we do must be done because it will benefit you. How many times in our life have we made a buying decision or done something and got home and felt like we were taken advantage of?
Sure.
You ever bought a car?
Sure. Car, cell phone.
Yeah.
You're like,
Mortgages,
do I need this?
you name it, fine print kills you a lot of times.
Yeah.
So as a fiduciary planning team, there's no fine print anymore because we have to explain everything, and everything has already been looked through by my fiduciary planning team and making sure that everything is done for you, not for us. And so we're hearing this term thrown around a lot, and there's a lot of folks that may be or may not be fiduciaries, but you must be an investment advisor, an RIA 65 license to file this code. And if you're 65 and you're also a 7, which is stockbroker, in my opinion, you're not a fiduciary. If you can make commissions out of, if somebody can make commissions out of your money, they're not a fiduciary. We cannot take money out of your money as commissions. Now, people say, well, what about money under management? Well, if you do better, we do better too. That's managed money, but there's no commission. Everything is explained what's going on. There's a under management fee. You have to pay the money managers, but you're not getting zonked with commissions you didn't know about or hidden in the contracts. Like a variable annuity is a good example. That variable annuities are loaded with commissions on there, and it comes out of your money. So nothing wrong with some of the annuities out there where the commissions or the money that's paid is coming out of the insurance company's pocket, not your pocket. So we can help analyze anything you have to make sure you are in the right place for your time of life, and if not, again, get that U-turn and get back on track. So that's why fiduciary, just ask your advisor, are you a fiduciary? And if they say yes, tell them put it in writing. That's all you have to do. Because it's best for you to know exactly what's going on before, during, and after you were the planner.
Sure, and of course you'd want to work with someone who has your best interests at heart. It's going to be like the same advice you would give to your family or to your best friend.
It's kind of, we call this old phrase back in the day, a no-brainer, right? When you want to be with someone who is helping you benefit, not benefiting off you.
Absolutely.
I used to say, whose retirement are you funding, yours or your broker's? Now, if you have a broker, they're not a fiduciary. They can't be, because a broker basically takes commissions out of your money. I don't care what they say. That's my opinion, of course, but you could take it to the regulators and they would agree with me that a broker who's taking commissions out of your money is not a fiduciary. Even if they have a fiduciary license, they're still making commissions, so they're basically lying to you.
Wow.
We can't have that.
Absolutely.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about what it feels like when someone comes into your office, Coach Pete. What is that experience like for your client for the very first time?
I love walking into my office. I come in on weekends and go to my office. It's just a fun place. We have 27,000 square feet, so it's a big place. We have 3 stories, TV studios, radio studios, and the second floor is our financial planning floor. And so people seem to love it. We've got a great waiting room. We have a massage chair that'll massage if you want. We have some clients that come in and just for massages.
They want the chair.
We have a refreshment bar. We have any kind of beverage you can, non-alcoholic obviously, but any kind of beverage, cold or hot, you can imagine we have, and snacks. It's a fun place. And so it's not intimidating. Great artwork all over the place. We even have a Gulfstream 2 table. So it's a 12-foot conference table that the fuselage of the Gulfstream is underneath the plexiglass.
Oh, wow.
Pretty new. It's really cool. And what does that have to do with financial planning? Nothing. But to me, it's more comfortable than having just a stiff environment that I don't like a doctor's office. It's not like a doctor's office, put it that way.
Well, I agree.
No one wants to go to the doctor's office anyway, but...
No, well, I'd want to come see you because you have the massage chair, you have all the beverages, probably coffee, hot cocoa.
Everything, yep. We even have this an espresso machine that's called, like it make an espresso for you. Like I had that in a hotel one time. And when I was at the hotel, I was already on Amazon ordering that for the office. So we have all different kind of, it's cool. And we try not to use plastic in our pods.
Okay.
Do you ever, these machines that make 1 cup at a time?
Sure, sure.
As I've got older, my palate gets better, I guess, but I can taste plastic in those ones with the plastic.
Really?
So we have the ones with no plastic, so all you're tasting is coffee.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
That is
I don't
really
want any
cool.
plastic in my hot chocolate or my coffee, so we want non-plastic kind of pods.
I agree. I agree.
Plus
that
it helps the environment.
Oh my gosh, most definitely.
These little pods now, remember in, I think it was like 4th grade or something, we planted seeds.
Yes.
Well, these are like the little peat pods. So the peat moss kind of things. You could actually plant a seed in there, I bet, and probably grow.
That is really cool.
Didn't try that yet, but maybe grow a coffee plant in a coffee pod. It'd be fun.
Well, this is the perfect time for us, Coach Pete, to go ahead and reopen those phone lines. Can you tell the viewers what they can expect to receive today?
Yeah, we've got the video on retirement today, which is a really good educational video, just telling you what to look forward to or not look forward to in retirement.
Okay.
We've also got the 7 Baby Steps book that I've written. This is my most popular one.
Yeah, that one's great.
I get pretty big checks from Amazon every month for this, so it's pretty cool. People still buy these on Amazon. $17.76 is the price, but you're going to get this if you call it, no cost. And then my book, America Asks Coach, and this is $19.99, but it's 27 chapters, but this will be thrown in as well. This is 27 chapters on how to plan your retirement and succeed in retirement.
Okay.
But more importantly, I want to talk about this too. We've got the disc, this audio disc, from the Live Happy show. Now, Chuck Caton is a Hall of Fame broadcaster. He was a broadcaster for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Okay.
He works with me in my radio studios now. We did a show called the Live Happy show last year, 2 years ago, like for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And we interviewed some really famous people on here. Like, well, my favorite guy was Eddie Money, rock star. Now, he's passed away since, but he was my favorite interview ever. Rocky Bleier from the Pittsburgh Steelers, 4 Super Bowls there. Dennis Potvin from the New York Islanders. You may know Bobby Orr. I don't know if you know Bobby Orr, but people listening or watching will know Bobby Orr. He played for the Boston Bruins back in the day. And Chris Berman from ESPN. So a lot of good interviews on here.
Yeah.
And there's 3 audio CDs. So, you know, the CD looks like, we're getting so advanced these days. They're the little round things you put in your car. You can still play it or whatever. If you have a CD player, you'll love this.
That is amazing. Coach Pete, what an amazing offer that you're giving the viewers today. Once again, to the viewing audience at home, the phone lines are now open. All you have to do is call the number on your screen. If you have questions about how to plan for retirement, Coach Pete has the answers for you. Again, we're going to take a very short commercial break, but we'll be right back momentarily with more questions and answers with Coach Pete.
It really does take the worry out of living in retirement if you get a true income plan built into your total plan. And that's why we try to future-proof your portfolio. Look at what you want to do in the future. Make sure you have protected money, protected from inflation, protected from risk and taxation, to make sure that you get that income all the way through retirement so you can do what you want to do. Because that's what retirement's all about.
Coach Pete, Coach Pete, financial advice, the likes of which can't be beat. Coach Pete, Coach Pete, financial advice, the likes of which can't be beat. So it's time, yeah, it's time for Coach Pete.
And welcome back to Financial Safari TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Coach Pete D'Arruda, otherwise known as the People's Choice. So Coach Pete, let me ask you something. Let's talk about a total retirement plan.
Yeah.
What does that encompass?
I think everybody out there needs their own total retirement plan. This is a customized 22-step plan. Now, people hear 22 steps. I'm not going to come in 22 times. We do it in 3 visits, folks. So we find out what makes you tick, where you want to be. Then we tell you where you are right now and what's needed to get you where you want to be.
Okay.
And so it's not one we just pull off the shelf and give it to everybody the same thing. It's just 22 exclusive and customized steps for you. Okay. And so it makes a lot of sense because after completing a total retirement plan, you really should never have any worries. It really does take the worry out of planning and living in retirement. So if done correctly, it should be the perfect fit for you. Now, every single year we meet to make sure that it's working fine and adjustments. Just like having a tailor, if you, after the holidays, if you gain some weight, you have to take it out or put it in, whatever. So people lose weight, we make sure it goes with that kind of thing. So if things change in your life, well, then we need to change the plan going forward. So this is a customized plan based on where you are right now, and as things change in your life, it's easy to make adjustments and tweaks.
Okay.
The hardest thing to do is to try to do it all at once the day before retirement.
Absolutely.
So people say, well, when should I do this? As soon as possible, because you don't, just because you're doing the total retirement plan doesn't mean you have to retire, but it will show you can retire on your terms instead of retiring when someone else tells you to.
Absolutely,
okay?
Absolutely. Coach Pete, how important is it for married couples to come in together? If they're watching the show right now, is it okay to say, okay, honey, you go do that, go meet with Coach Pete, tell me what he says? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, honey, you go to the buffet and just tell me how it was. No, you really need to, it's a together thing because everybody's different. And we see this more than ever with spouses. Spouses have different ideas about what retirement is.
Sure.
Spouses have different realities in their head about where they are right now and what's needed to get them where they need to be. So, and I feel like Dr. Phil of the financial world sometimes sitting down, we have to hash out. Like one time the spouse is saying they want to travel the world at retirement. The other spouse says, I want to sit at home and go to baseball games. Yeah. So then we have to be a referee. We have to compromise a little bit. Yep. Or
meet in the middle somehow.
We design the way where you can travel the world and I'll stay home and watch baseball. Whatever makes everybody's different, right? Some people love to be together. Some people don't want to be together that much,
Yeah,
but they're still together, that kind of thing. So
Sure.
I think it's important to both of you guys come in and sit down. I know in life,
Yeah.
we don't want to do anything anymore. We have our cell phones, and it's supposed to make life simpler, but it's more complex now. But
Sure.
and we seem to not have time to do things. But this is 3 or 4 hours of your life when we talk about the 3 meetings.
Okay.
That you really can't afford not to do together.
Okay, so about an hour each is what
Yeah,
you're
about an hour.
thinking.
The first appointment is about an hour and a half, because we need to find out
Yeah.
what makes you tick, and
Sure.
we need to help analyze where you are right now.
Sure.
Cynthia, a lot of times we'll sit down with folks just like you out there, and people bring in unopened statements.
Yeah.
Like Food Lion bag fulls up. We
Yeah.
dump them on the table, and then we open them. I've got a letter opener. We'll open it up. Then we help you coordinate and analyze where your money is right now. And most times we do it in 3 colors: red, green, yellow. Most of the people we see have way too much money in red for the time of their life they're in. Red is risk.
Okay.
Red can go up real fast, but it can also go down real fast.
Okay.
Yellow, emergency money. We all must have an emergency account just in case something goes
Sure,
wrong.
sure.
Flat tire, leak in the roof, whatever, emergency
conditioner,
account.
yeah,
And so, depending on your lifestyle, that depends on that basically will tell us how much we need to have in the yellow account. You're not going to earn any money, but that money's 100% liquid. You can get it anytime.
Perfect.
It's like a CD at the bank or a savings account in the bank.
Okay.
And then green accounts. Now, green is safe.
Okay.
Not going to get you rich, but you're not going to lose money. You'll never lose money, and you'll lock your gain in each year. So when you get a gain, it locks it in.
Okay.
You can share in the gains in the market. You're not going to get all the gains, but you'll never lose money.
Okay.
And once you once you have money added to there, you'll never lose that money either. So you won't lose your original principal, and you won't lose your interest.
Okay.
Very
Would that
important.
be like bonds and CDs?
Well, not really, because
Okay.
bonds can go up and down, and CDs you don't earn any money. So those are the
Okay.
yellow. The CDs are yellow accounts. So it's
Okay.
almost like annuities are a good example
Okay.
of the green accounts. And special annuities will give you lifetime income as well. So here's what makes a green account a green account.
Okay.
You got growth. The money grows when you don't need it. It protects your growth and also protects your original principal, and then you have lifetime income.
Okay.
GPI, growth, protection, income. Then you have a green account. Most of you out there do not have proper green accounts, and green accounts are the ones that are going to get you to and through retirement without any worries whatsoever if you set it up correctly. So Cynthia, everybody out there needs their own green accounts. They need their own total retirement plan. They should find out about the GPI index, growth, protection, income. Matter of fact, we have a new t-shirt that we've come out with. It says growthprotectionincome.com on it, because there's a website,
Nice.
growthprotectionincome.com. We're going to give that away. We're going to give that to the next 20 people who call. We're going to give them a golden ticket for the $1,000 value total retirement plan we just talked about.
Wow.
Total retirement plan.
That's
You'll get a
fantastic.
book set. I've written 8 books. You can pick 3 of them. I recommend one I have here, the 7
Yeah.
baby steps, and America Ask Coach, and then you can grab another one, Fine Print Fiasco, what they don't want you to know when you buy, borrow, and invest. A really good book I wrote.
Okay.
But people can choose that. And if you read those, I'll give you the next ones. If I hit you with 8 books, you're not going to read any of them.
Right,
If I
right.
give you 2 or 3 at a time, you'll probably
Pick
read
and
them.
choose.
And we'll give you this disc we talked about too, the CDs, and then the DVD on the DVD on retirement, the really important video right here.
Absolutely.
But more importantly, you get a plan that you can believe in.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that you understand exactly what's going on. So make that offer right now. We're going to open the phone lines up. The next 20 people who call, we got that for you.
Well, Coach Pete, I can't believe we're almost to the end of another great show, because I love listening to you. I mean, I wish we had an hour, because we could just keep going with so many different topics. So thank you so much for
You're
another
welcome.
amazing show. To the viewers at home, once again, those phone lines are now open. The number is on your screen. Thank you for spending time with us today. Be safe, be happy, be blessed, and we look forward to seeing you back here again. Bring your questions. We have the answers.